So now we're going to continue on with this ball balancing drill, and we're going to see how can we progress this a little bit. Certainly the ball balancing when standing still, if you can just keep it still for 10 to 20 seconds, certainly you're going to have some fatigue, some variability in how you control the paddle. But what if this is too easy for us now? We have to increase the physical demand a little bit. Now you notice we're not really doing anything with our lower body. So if you're seated, maybe standing up, working on some postural control as it relates to this motor task might be good. But let's try to increase the physical demand of this a little bit. We're going to increase our postural stability demands by decreasing our base of support. So if you missed it, I was standing hip width apart. Now my feet just come in a little bit more. They don't have to touch yet. And even though this might not look like much, if you have instability or you have trouble with reducing your base of support, we're just moving your feet in a little bit can make this a little bit more challenging. Now, as this is occurring, you want to be safe. So I want to have a chair next to me to hold on to or just float my hand just in case. Maybe someone next to me, maybe a wall. I could turn towards the wall, have my back against the wall if that's something that I feel safer with in case I fall backwards. And so you always want to exercise safety as much as possible. And so reducing the base of support, it's up to you the level in which you do that. Ideally eventually we get to, oh, you got another one there, you're prepared. You get eventually to keeping your feet all the way together. So my toes and my heels are touching. This is very demanding. We'll see that the ball balancing task actually gets harder for us. And we want to make sure that as we are decreasing our base of support, that we're remaining safe with a chair or someone next to us or a wall, because we are distracted while we're balancing.
Absolutely.
We are distracted, and so we don't want to fall under that distraction.
Focus is on the ball.
That's right. You're not focusing on your feet. And so now we can go from if my hands are my feet were together, now we can slide it forward and go semi-tandem stance. So this one can be a little tricky, so your heel is inside your toe essentially. Definitely recommend holding on to a chair, the wall, or someone else during this task. It's going to be harder because we're trying to not lean over to one side as this becomes more challenging. And certainly the ball might go everywhere. And just as we were first learning that ball balancing, keeping your hand underneath, certainly this is going to be harder for us. So we expect that ball balancing to decrease in its performance and our ability to keep it on the paddle.
Yeah, and I just have my fingers lightly on the wall. I don't need a lot of support there.
Right.
Just a touch.
And we're standing forward, but ideally you're standing to the side so that wall you can touch at any time. We can go full tandem. So we did semi-tandem. This one's going to be harder. Definitely hold on to something as you get in this position. Your heel in front of your toe. Okay, so Trent's showing us that there. Our heel is in front of our toe. This one is very challenging. Once again, strongly recommend you're holding onto a chair or a wall during this exercise. You're going to feel a lot of ankle activity. And then maybe after 20 seconds, maybe even 5 seconds, if that's all you can do, the amount of time is going to depend on your ability level and your endurance. You can switch sides. There you go. We're going to work on single leg supported, ideally with a chair here or the wall supporting you. My left toe in this case is just kissing the ground. So I'm going to get with most of my weight, 60 to 80% of my weight on my right foot. My left toe is kissing the ground. Trent, why don't you come a little closer? Okay. Touch that toe down. You're just kissing the ground with that toe. And certainly if we get distracted, we're going to find that the ball balancing performance will decrease a bit. Okay? And if I feel comfortable, ideally with support, initially, I can float that foot. This one's a real doozy. And if you can do single leg stance without this, ideally you should be able to do any movement without the ball balancing before introducing the ball balancing. So if I can't do single leg on my own, I shouldn't do it with ball balancing. If I can't do semi-tandem on my own, I shouldn't do it with ball balancing. That's a good measure. So we're going to find that these are much harder to maintain because our eyes and our brain are working so much harder to keep this afloat while I'm balancing.